Hello everybody, welcome to Totally Tabled. My name is Shaggy, and this is Retail Rundown, where I quickly go over the newest soloable board games to hit the retail market, at least where I live in the United States. These games are available to purchase and play right now, no waiting on crowdfunding fulfillment. If I've missed a release you feel deserves attention, please give it a mention in the comments below. Now let's go ahead and get started with a few main attractions. First up is The Anarchy by Garfield Games. This is a follow-up to the popular heavyweight flip and write game Hadrian's Wall. I've never played Hadrian's Wall, yes I know, but as you can see from the footage on screen, I have played The Anarchy. Expect a full solo playthrough video within the next week or two. In The Anarchy, players take the role of nobles during a period of civil unrest in 12th century England. Every round you gain resources and 5 different types of workers, and then you use them to take a variety of actions. Many of the actions involve protecting your castle from enemy attacks, which increase in intensity each round. Yeah, this is a tower defense game. So you're going to be building walls, towers, gates, and moats. You'll train soldiers and knights and deploy them on the 4 sides of your castle. You'll develop technology and tactics that can repel specific attacks. And of course, as you fill in all these various tracks, you'll gain bonuses that let you take more actions to get more bonuses, and you'll have these really satisfying combo-rific turns, just like in any good flip and write game. The Anarchy also comes with a lengthy solo campaign, where each scenario gives you a different setup and different goals to achieve victory. And while the game was originally crowdfunded, I think the only thing you miss out on by getting it at retail is a small promo pack of cards. I'll go ahead and spoil my thoughts now. The Anarchy is incredible. I highly recommend checking it out, maybe after you've seen my playthrough. Next up is Wroth by Chip Theory Games. Wroth is an area control game that pits asymmetrical factions against each other in either competitive, cooperative, or solo play. I'm interested in this one because, well, first, it's Chip Theory Games, so you know the production is going to be off the charts with neoprene mats and, all sorts of high-quality bits. But secondly, this is designed and illustrated by Manny Trembley, who's been involved with Dice Throne and the gorgeous Wonderland's War. I love the colorful aesthetic in Wroth. The game is also apparently playable in just an hour with very simple rules that are easy to teach. The gameplay appears to use dice drafting for selecting and resolving actions. Now, I'm a huge fan of dice drafting, so I'm really curious to see how that works. Also, when playing solo or cooperative, you'll fight against an AI faction, so I'm also excited to see the AI in action. Usually solo modes in area control games don't really come together very well, but hopefully Wroth will be the exception. Next, let's talk about Galileo Galilei. This was technically a 2024 release from Pink Troubadour that is getting a retail release in my neck of the woods by Capstone Games. I'm excited to get my hands on this one finally, as it looks to be a medium weight Euro with an intriguing theme and a very nice table presence from the designer of SETI Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. Check out my playthrough of SETI if you haven't, the game is fantastic. In Galileo, you take the role of an astronomer during the 18th century, discovering new planets, star systems, and making groundbreaking scientific discoveries. But you must be cautious of inquisitors who could threaten your reputation. You have a moving telescope which governs your action selection in almost what seems to be a pseudo-rondel. And the actions that you take can be upgraded as you progress through the game. This really sounds like my kind of mechanism. I absolutely can't wait to try this one out. For the last main attraction, we're heading back to Garfield Games with Skara Brae. This is also a crowd-funded game, but it recently got a retail English release from Renegade Games Studios. And as far as I can tell, the only difference is the absence of a few promos. In Skara Brae, we play as members of a community of farmers and hunters in northern Scotland from around 5,000 years ago. Apparently they used all their garbage to build massive mounds of earth which later generations dug into to create tunnels to shelter them from cold winter months. That's a truly fascinating setting for a game. Now, the way it translates into actual gameplay appears to be with resource management, using a ton of different types of resources from what I can tell. There's also card drafting and worker placement, two of my favorite mechanisms. Interestingly, BGG says this one plays best solo and only takes around 45 to 60 minutes. That is crazy quick. I'm definitely excited to get Skara Brae to the table. Now we can more quickly run through a handful of other soloable games that caught my eye recently. First off, Ofrenda. This is a card drafting and card placement game about assembling a colorful altar to celebrate your loved ones for the Mexican Day of the Dead. It appears to be a quick playing and low complexity puzzle game, maybe even a fairly abstract one. But the theme and colorful artwork is absolutely drawing me in regardless. I have the impression a lot of heart went into making this game. And I'm a huge fan of Osprey games, so I'm definitely going to look into this one more. Next, we have How to Save a World. This is a worker placement game with a hand-building mechanism, which I imagine is similar to Concordia, at least that's what I think of when I hear hand-building. The theme is great. You play as a scientist that has to develop and execute a plan to stop an asteroid from destroying a planet. Not planet Earth. This is a different planet several light years from Earth, so this must take place in the far future. Once again, I love the colorful, vibrant artwork. Hopefully the solo mode works well with this one. And lastly, we have Wine Cellar. This is an odd one. It's a game that plays up to 8 players. It's an auction game, and yet somehow it has a solo mode. I'm very curious how that works, if at all. I'm obviously drawn in by the Vincent Dutrait artwork and the 20-minute playtime. Apparently, each player takes a client and tries to build a wine collection that suits the client's tastes. This one deserves a second look. Maybe not for solo exclusively, but who knows. To finish up, I just want to mention a few expansions that just recently came out. First, Ascension Tactics Inferno is a standalone expansion that has a solo mode, a campaign, team-based play, and adds a co-op mode for up to 4 players. This is a game that combines Ascension's deck building with a tactical miniatures game, and I've heard good things about the solo mode. The original one has been very close to hitting my table recently. And in that same vein, the cooperative game The Mandalorian Adventures has a new expansion called Clan of Two. It looks to be more of the same, but these missions are inspired by Season 2 of The Mandalorian. This base game has been high on my to-play list for a while now. And lastly, I was also excited to see Deep Rock Galactic and its mini expansions available again in a second edition. This is a cooperative dice-rolling dungeon crawler based on the video game, of course. And once again, I've heard really great things, but I haven't gotten it to the table yet. So there you go, a bunch of solo games that have recently hit retail, and that's going to do it for me. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.